Well, you can see I have my LawnBoy 10323 already taken apart. So today is just going to be an update video on this machine. So, I'm going to tell you what has been wrong with this machine for a couple months. Okay, so last time you saw this was on June 2nd, which is my lawn cam video that I did for the very first time. So yeah, so that was actually when you saw that machine last time. So a few weeks later after I made that video, on June 22nd, it had a leaking problem, which I would say there was gas and oil dripping through somewhere right here around the pulley. So I think gas and oil was dripping through where the crankshaft is, and it's probably one of the oil seals, I think, and it was dripping gas and oil down through there. And what I also noticed was that it was also dripping. I also thought for sure that it was also dripping gas and oil under through this little plate. I don't know if you can really see. It's like right here. That's where this little muffler plate right here, and there's a little pipe. There's a little pipe transfer that connects to the exhaust port on the cylinder, and then the pipe goes up to the muffler. YouTube channel More 350 Power said customers complaining this one was that it was dripping oil when they shut off. And there was two things that I noticed. When I cleaned out the carburetor, blew some of the dirt off the air cleaner, I noticed, like a white foaming liquid, which to me that indicates water, which caused it not to run right. So that's exactly what he said. So I thought for sure it was leaking gas and oil through the oil seals, which I already know that was the biggest problem though. But I thought for sure it was also leaking gas and oil, or dripping gas and oil, whatever, out of the muffler plate with the 4 bolts that hold onto the muffler plate to the exhaust port. But I really don't think it wasn't even dripping that much. So I'll tell you something. I took this thing to repair shop. So 4 days later, I think, which is on June 26th, I think, I took this thing to the repair shop, and I told them what happened. So it had been sitting there for, so 1 month later, in July, the 25th was when I got back, but there was a problem. The guys never fixed this thing, and it has been sitting there at the shop just for a month. It's been sitting there just for about a month, never fixed. Never been fixed. And the guy told me that he said that it actually wasn't even leaking oil or gas, which I was really confused about that, and I was shocked about that because I know it was dripping gas and oil out of the oil seals. But I guess it might have just sealed up automatically, I guess. And right now, it's not leaking at all. So what I have, okay, so yeah, that was in July, and then also it was running fine when I started it up. It ran fine, but then I had to replace the air filter and the spark plug with a new one. So that worked out fine, I guess. So the original spark plug that I got for this machine, it was the original one. It was a NGK BPM R4A. I don't have it on the 10B23 Not yet. Well, I have the NGK BPMR for a spark plug that is in my 10x50 over there. So I'm still using this previous one. That was on there. It was the NGK BPM 6A spark plug. So I'm still using this for now. So yeah, so I'm not finished about that. There was more what I had on this machine. Okay, then on August 2020, I think the 23rd on August, it started to surge really bad. It was like surging crazy. Well, it was surging pretty bad. As you all know, the Earth was surge. So I took out the carburetor, and then I try and look at the main jets to see if it was clogged, and it wasn't really that clogged at all, which really was confusing about me. So I just put the carburetor back on, but I cleaned it a little bit on the outside, of course. And then also, as I put the carburetor back onto the engine, the little part where the throttle control connects to the airbox, the piece on it broke, and also the cable that holds onto the airbox with the bolt and the nut, this little bracket right here, I think it broke, so I had to buy a new throttle cable, and as well as I had to buy a new airbox for this. So yeah, after I put the carburetor back together, there was of course a big problem. This thing would not start at all. So the the thing was, I thought for sure it was going to be either a spark issue, which I know it had spark, and I know the primary bolt wasn't cracked, and of course it has fresh gas in it, and has compression, and still won't start. But it took me about a month to figure this out. So luckily, one of the guys told me on Facebook that he told me to see if I could adjust the float, and I think that did solve the problem why it wasn't even starting, because I guess the float and the needle valve probably wasn't set correctly, and I guess it just wasn't allowing fuel to enter into the carburetor bowl, and I think that was why it solved it while it wasn't starting. So it did solve the problem. It started like first or second pull when it started first pull when I started up, and it was surging still. So yep, so it was surging, and then 2 days later I wanted to look at the piston to see how bad it was, but here's what it looks like as I took the cylinder head off. It does have carbon in it, but it's actually not bad for 17 years old. I'm still gonna see if I can clean it off with a steel wire brush. So as I put this cylinder head back on with the bolts, I'll have to show you this. Okay, so as I was using that little stupid torque wrench right there, I was trying to say to 15 pounds. This was the original stud. It was on the left part of the bolt right there. So as I used the torque wrench, this bolt broke off. So you can see it got broken. So I just ordered, so the parts what I ordered, as you can see, the engine cover off. I had got a new stud for this. As like I said, the one broke. I got a new brake cable. I still have the original one on there because I'm gonna keep the previous one as a spare one because I might probably have to use that one for my 10550 because you might notice something because I wanna do a 2-barrel conversion on my 10550, which means by taking off the 10323's top handle, put on my 10550 because I can't stand the easy stride at all. So yeah, that's why I'm keeping my original one. So yeah, and then I got and even to make it more original, these are the 3 screws to hold the top engine cover to the engine, and also I did buy some 2 screws and 2 handle knobs, the original ones, on to make it more original, and as well as I had also replaced. Yeah, so this is the stuff where I had to replace now. So I had to replace the primer board, which series is a brand new one. My old one is cracked. Oh, as you can see, that is cracked right here. As you can see, there you can see it was cracked and it was broken. So that was pretty much the reason why I had to replace with a new one. So I had to replace new primer board. Yeah. And here's the engine cover. Oops. I still have the recoil cover, but the recoil is still on there. So and I also bought a new head gasket for the cylinder head, which I'm gonna probably install those later tonight. So oh, and what I also did buy, even more importantly, was I bought this. You guys know what it is? That is the Bridge and Stratton Pilot Jet, which this is the biggest problem. What I heard, that this is the surgeon problem to fix the surge problem on the Air Forces, like my 1033, for example. You can see it says 42.5, which I'm guessing that's probably the tiny hole of the jet, or that's probably the overall size of it. And the LawnBoy version was a 37.5, and this Bridge and Stratton Pilot Jet was actually from the Artex snow throwers. So those might be probably the Toro snow blowers, maybe with the Suzuki engines. I think so, yeah. So yeah, I still have this. I have the extra primer board, the same one for my LawnBoy Air Forces, but I'm saving that one for my 10550 in case it's cracked. That's why I'm keeping that one. And also, I don't know if you probably ever saw that you can tell that the wheels in the middle are painted black. Well, that's because I did that a couple months ago to make it look like it has hubcaps on like my 10550 is. And of course the wheel bolts are painted black as well. I don't know if I show you this side. Just show you, but you see it's gray on the bottom, but it's black at the top because I painted it black as well. And I did do some spray painting on this. You see, I used a LawnBoy green touch-up paint a little bit on here, but you see the tape where it has the lines on there. It's a bit messed up, but I'm still gonna see if it fits that, I guess. So yeah, so that was pretty much it on what I have been doing on this machine and why Well, I will tell you why I haven't been using it as much. Because like I said, I don't know if I didn't tell you this. The reason why I'm not using this machine a lot because I need this machine to last a very long time. And this thing is 17 years old, and next year it's going to be 18 years old, which it is kind of old. But even though I still love it though, but I'm still not using a lot though because I need to not use it so much. So I'm guessing next year I'm gonna maybe use it a little bit more. Probably I'm gonna use this thing a little bit more than I did this year, because this year I didn't use it much at all. But I think in 2017 when I bought this, and then in 2019, this has been my workhorse for about 2 years. But 2018 I probably didn't use it as much at all. And same thing this year, I only used it just a little. This year I only used it maybe a couple of times this year. So hopefully if I get this mower running and up and running again, hopefully if it doesn't surge too much, the winds doesn't purge it, and hopefully it doesn't surge at all, which more importantly, I hope I could be able to feature this mower in my final lawn cam video if it's running good. So I'm gonna go ahead and so I guess probably later I'm going to put all the stuff, yes, I'm going to put everything back together. Well, what I'm planning on doing tonight is I plan on installing my new head gaskets, and I may try and clean off the carbon off the piston with my steel wire brush. Make sure I get it to the top that center. And then after I just clean a little, then I'll install I'll sand off this little residue of fine grit sandpaper at 220 grits. And as well as the same thing on the cylinder too. And then I'll install new gaskets, and then I'll do is I'll probably put the recoil cover shroud that's under the engine cover. Yeah, I'll put that back on with the bolts and nuts, and then that's probably all I'm gonna do tonight though, because I guess maybe tomorrow or Tuesday I'm going to take out the carburetor, because I'm going to replace with these new parts, which I hope these will fit surging. And yeah, so I got a new float and kit assembly, yeah, which has the float, the needle and valve clip, and the inlet seat, and as well as I got a governor spring for it too as well. So yeah, oh yeah, and the reason why the governor spring on there, I don't know if you can't even see it. This little thing right here, you can see where it's connected to the throttle control. You can see how it's not even tensioned. You can see how it fell off. I guess that's why it just wasn't tensioned properly. So that's why I had to buy a new one, because I'm just not sure which way I'm supposed to tension it properly. But I thought I did do that, but this I didn't. So I guess what I'll do is I'll install the parts that go for the carburetor probably tomorrow or Tuesday, maybe. And then hopefully I'll get this machine up and running again. Hopefully if it's running good and not surging low, then they'll make a video of me starting it up, so I'm sure how good it sounds though. Alright, so that's my update video on my LawnBoy 10323.
So I'm going to show you. Yep, 2003 model.
Oh, and also, I don't know if I never even showed you this, I put a tachometer on this to check the RPMs as well. Alright, so I'll see you guys later. So I'm gonna put some of the stuff back together and just for tonight, and then maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, like I said, I'll put some of the parts on the carburetor back together, and I'll see how good it runs.